We're live at Nampo 2025, and I'm catching up with one of the leading voices in South African agriculture, Wandile Sihlobo, who needs no introduction. Welcome, Wandile. I just want us to chat about how's the mood at Nampo. You always come here, and it's always a pleasure to meet with you and engage with you at Nampo.
Yeah, thank you. I had to stop by the Nedbank stand. Great coffee, great company, but also just a place where we are able to meet a lot of farmers and get a sense about how they are doing in their businesses. And my sense is that just starting from driving around, coming down to Bothaville, we are coming from a month where we were worried about the excessive rains in April, late in the season.
Yeah.
But when you look around, it looks like things are looking fairly well for the harvest to start. But also just the mood, walking around at Nampo, the mood is pretty much upbeat. And I'm thinking that we are really in that spirit of a recovery in agriculture.
Wow, I would like us to talk more around that. And I must say that this is more than just an agricultural showcase. It's really where everything is happening, and it's really where the sector comes together. So just tell me, what's your expectations? I mean, you're already talking about the mood and that things are improving. What's your expectation for this year?
I mean, I think you are right that at Nampo, we get a flavor of the entire value chain. You have the technology developers, you have people in finance, you have people that are sitting on in other related industries in the food and fiber and beverages value chain. And I think walking around here, you get to see what are the new technologies that they are working on. But thinking about 2025, the numbers are out there. They're telling us that in grains and the oilseeds, we are up 16% from last year.
Wow.
About 18 million tons of grain that we are expecting. But what's more positive is that this is not just the story of grains. Wine production may be up 11%, and the quality is great. And I think that even the folks that are in the horticulture, fruit and vegetables, they are doing well. So on those bases, and given that we had a tough year last year, that midsummer drought really hurt the production. The spirit is up, and everyone is looking at this better harvest and is saying, maybe this is indeed a recovery period. And I think that's the mood we see as we walk around.
Sounds amazing. And I know, I mean, I'm catching up with you. You just got off Nations in Conversation discussion where we're talking about global trade. Anything to expect from an exporter's perspective? I'm talking about everything else from the discussion that you just had now.
I mean, that discussion was important because ultimately we produce and do what we do, but South Africa's agriculture is export oriented. Yes. We export about half of what we produce, just under $14 billion. One of the key themes that we're having is, of course, the idea of how does South Africa and the US relations form. And I think there was a consensus that the US is very important. So in our engagement with them, we should try to strike some form of a trade deal so that we continue to export to the US. But beyond the US, we have to continuously promote our exports to the African continent, part of Asia, Europe, and all of the regions that we are exporting to. And I think on top of those, we really have to continuously work on market expansion to new areas. And that was at the gist of that. What was important for me is that everyone is sort of like rallying behind that idea of export diversification. And my sense is that is a build-up for the long term from the optimism that we are seeing.
Before I let you go, I mean, there's so many global shifts. You just touched on some of them. So tariffs, regulation, sustainability, they're no longer future challenges. They are here now. Any thoughts, just final thoughts in terms of what our farmers should be thinking about?
I think a number of sustainability initiatives that are already happening. You yourselves at Nedbank, your team is working on a number of things where they are working with the farmers to ensure that they produce in an environmentally friendly way, and also, of course, paying attention socially. And I think those are some of the things that we can say, how do we take those good examples, sort of like propagate to other regions? And the farmers are willing, because in the end of the day, you have to produce fairly in a sustainable way so that tomorrow you can be able to continuously grow. And as they do some of these things, they also see a decline in the inputs that they need for their production, which ultimately then means that producing in an environmentally friendly way is an economic decision rather than just something that you do because you like.
Absolutely. Wandile, I'm going to let you go, but it's always a pleasure having you come and visit us, and thank you so much. We truly appreciate you coming to see us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.